Hi, welcome, 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 welcome. Guys, I am so excited today. While I'm waiting to see some viewers, I'm just going to double check on Facebook to make sure that we are showing up correctly. Because I am doing everything here today. So I am so okay, great. We're on. We're on. So thank you guys for tuning in. So we're just gonna wait to get some viewers. In the meantime, please like, please share, please tag a friend because today it's all about the secret prayer of a righteous Black woman, the power of a mother's prayer, guys. So, I'm so excited. So we are waiting to see, some viewers on before we really start. So in the meantime, like I said, like, share, tag your friends. And I'm also mindful that StreamYard has a little lag. So I know that people are going to start to come up a little bit after. So we got to be patient here. So I'm just waiting to see the viewership coming on. But guys, we are excited. Okay, so I'm seeing I have a viewer on. Right. And again, I don't want to start before time. We're getting some people coming on now. Yeah. Guys, as you come on, please like, please share, please invite a friend, guys. It's all about liking, sharing, tag a friend so that we can have the viewership going up. We are so excited to be here. You guys are going to meet the co-authors. You're going to get that sort of face-to-face interaction with them. You'll be able to talk and communicate. So, let's just support. So in the meantime, I am doing that as well. We're going to give it at least 5 minutes for people to come on. So you guys, as you're there, just again, share. Just look at what the screen is saying and tag a friend. In the next couple of minutes, I am going to be playing our promotional trailer. This is like the introduction to this event. And I mean, if you guys been following me, following my page, and also not just me, but each and every one of the authors, you guys would see that we have been going hard and strong for the past probably 2 months. This book, it is definitely a gift from God. God has blessed me with this vision, and He have handpicked the right group of women to be a part of this. And we are just so excited to come to you guys today. So before I bring on my first guest, co-authors to join me, I am going to play our promotional video. And while that's playing, again, please like the video, please share, please tag a friend. And, let's just get ready to spend some time together. So here we go, guys. To Waste Global Movement presents The Secret Prayer of a Righteous Black Woman, The Power of a Mother's Prayer book anthology. It takes a lot of courage to share our deepest parenting worries. But worry is what we do as parents. For centuries, Black mothers have lived in a state of deepened emotions. We feel joy each time we see our child smile, excitement watching them learn to tie their shoes, and proud when they graduate from their different levels of their academic journey. And we feel fear. Black mothers carry a fear that the part of them that goes out into the world every day could meet harm. In the United States alone, police brutality is among the leading cause of death for Black men and boys, and racism has been linked to poor mental health outcomes. For mothers of Black children, this fear is not imagined. It is a daily reality, not just for those of us with sons, but for mothers with daughters too. A mother's love knows no boundaries. It's in a category all by itself. It shapes cultures and molds young, impressionable individuals. A mother's love provides stability and emotional availability, which is the key to your children's well-being. This way of being is not categorized or segmented by race or ethnicity. It is the genetic makeup of all mothers. The truth is that all mothers want the best for their children and pray for them to be successful, confident, and happy in life. However, Black mothers carry a larger burden, which requires them to pray a more rigorous and intentional prayer for their children's survival. Mothers with children of color pray daily that their sons and daughters come home alive. They pray in particular that their children do not experience race and color-related trauma and the external fear associated with racism. Black mothers pray that their children will not be socially marginalized as they live with the fear of knowing that even though they have done everything right and necessary to raise good, law-abiding children, their offspring have become an endangered species. We as Black mothers say no more to this fear as we hold steadily to James 5:16, which states that the fervent prayer of the righteous are powerful. The mission of the secret prayer of a righteous Black woman, the power of a mother's prayer, is to spark a movement that transcends all fear and bring hope, enlightenment, and meaningful cultural transformation to all mothers from our complex and intersecting stories. The secret prayer of a righteous Black woman, the power of a mother's prayer, will be a powerful resource providing wisdom, comfort, and prayer for Black moms all over the world. Packed with real-life inspirational stories and powerful prayers from Black moms who were once living in fear, it will bring peace, lighten the weight of unwanted burdens, worries, and fear that Black moms have been carrying since their conception. Coming soon this summer. Listen, guys. Every time I look at this video and listen to it, I feel truly, truly inspired. I just feel blessed. And, I am a Black mom. And, those words, that cry for help, again, that is something that God has put into my heart. And when God had told me to do this anthology, I was first a little bit shaken. But just to reset the room again, just in case you do not know who I am, my name is Reea Rodney, and I am the visionary author, or I should say the person behind this anthology. And I am so blessed that God has seen it fit to grant me this opportunity to bring this book out today. And I'm even more blessed that God has, joined me with a dynamic group of women. And joining me right now, I am going to invite to the stage, I am going to invite Tiffaney, and I am going to invite Chandele. So guys, it's such a pleasure having the both of you here today. And I just want to thank you guys, thank you guys, thank you guys. So guys, as you know, we have 12 authors, myself included. And joining me right now, we have Chandele Morris. She's sitting at the top. And we also have Phoenix Blue. That's what she goes by. Her name is Tiffaney as well. And it is have been such a pleasure working with these two dynamic women of God. So I am just going to invite first off Tiffaney. I would like you to just tell us a little bit about yourself and the inspiration, or I should say, why it is you choose to be a part of this anthology.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy to be here with our Facebook friends and family. And it was a pleasure working with you too, Reea, on this project. Hi, guys. I am, as she said, Phoenix Blue. I am a daughter of a praying mother who was a daughter of a praying mother. So it makes sense that I am now a mother of three and definitely a praying mother. I'm also a teacher. And so I help our kids to make those good choices, right? An author coach. So I help people to publish their books and try to inspire them to tell their story, just like we ladies did. So you said, what inspired me to actually write this story and to join this project? Well, in addition to your fabulous smile and wonderful character and integrity, it was the fact that in the news, we are seeing our children going missing, right? There are mothers out there who can't sleep at night because their children are going missing. And that was my story, that I was worried about my children coming missing, and specifically my daughter. And so I wanted to tell my story of how I overcame that fear. And I thought that this project, which is all about helping us to overcome our fears, would be a great opportunity to share how I had that success. And so I'm so happy that you chose me to be part of this project, and I'm so excited that I got to work with the 11 amazing authors that are part of the project as well.
Listen, guys, Tiffaney has been a powerhouse. And I'm not just saying this because I want to give her praise. Like this woman, from the moment I spoke to her and I shared about this program, she was like, Reea, I want to be a part of this. I do not want to be sitting on the sideline when this book comes out. And she felt connected. And I'm telling you, like from the moment we started this project, Tiffaney was the first one to hand in her story. And when I read it, I cried. And what I noticed right away is that even though I may have highlighted one of my fear as parents in general, but let's just focus with Black moms. We carry a tremendous amount of fears. We have several fears. And Tiffaney, a story that spoke about her children going missing, that was definitely a fear that I had when my kids were much younger. And I felt connected right away to Tiffaney's story. I don't know what happened. We just lost Chandele, but we're gonna keep it moving. So Tiffaney, just share with us a little bit more about what your story is about and how that fear really impacted you as a mother.
Absolutely. As I said, there are probably women out there, parents out there who cannot sleep at night. And so I was having that issue of not being able to sleep, having these dreams and nightmares. The enemy was attacking, saying, your daughter is going to be taken. And so I felt that it was important for me to share that story with the audience, whoever will read, and specifically how I overcame that. And so it was a process, guys. It was not just instant. It was something that took some time. And through the prayer and through my faith, I was able to deal with that particular problem of wondering, was someone steal my daughter, right? Each and every night. And so because of that, I know that there's probably someone who has the same fear with our girls coming up missing, specifically in Chicago, where I'm from, those concerns that could happen to their child. This book will help you to see how you could get over that and how you can persevere and succeed.
Listen, guys, that fear is real as a mother, right? And when we see on the news today, we see so many, like thousands of Black children going missing, right? And it's not on the news really, but if you do the research, statistics will tell you. So we know that this is a threat. It is real that our children could go out there and not come back home, right? We have sex trafficking, human trafficking, people just kidnapping you and, they're hurting you. And then that's the end of it. So it's a real threat. And when you have children and we're in a world like what we're in today, these threats are real, specifically Black children. So for moms who are struggling, First off, the key thing is to trust God, trust God. And as you read the story, you'll get so much more blueprint. But before we go any further, I want to bring on Chandele now. Chandele, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Chandele, again, she's a mom and she's a dynamic woman of faith and God. She's an evangelist. So Chandele, I want to give you the opportunity to share, how well why you felt inspired to be a part of this anthology, and just share a little bit about your story as a Black mom raising your Black children.
Okay, first I want to say hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be a part of this, and I'm so happy that I'm to be here with you guys. My name is Chandele Morris. I am an author of another book as well. I'm just a kid. It's a social and emotional book about self-regulation. And the reason why I was a part of this anthology is because when I was asked to be a part of it, I was going through something. Um, if to me, it was the most terrible thing in the world. But it's something that a lot of parents go through. And it's basically, I was traveling and I was in a place where was just not familiar to me. I was around people that I was not comfortable with. And then at the same time, my husband and I found out that my son was autistic. And so he's having trouble where he is in a new location. And we felt alone at that time. And we felt as if, you know what, there's many other families who they don't know what it is to experience such news, such a surprise, and they don't know how to handle it. They automatically think about it as something negative. And so with everything that was going on at the same time, I wanted to share with other people that, you're not alone. God is with you. You just trust God, have faith, and don't make the things that are in your mind take control of your actions and your life.
That is so important, right? You are not alone and have faith. That is so important. And sometimes for people who don't believe, they like to say, oh, you guys always say have faith, trust God. But I always said from very young, I prefer to be positive. So I prefer to have faith. I prefer to trust God rather than, go the other way and then just if by chance God really do exist, then what next? So, with everything, we have to give God praise and we have to trust him. And when he inspired me to write this book, right, he said that I want my people to know that I am God. I am the only one who gets to decide what happened. So when we sit there and we're worrying and we're looking at everyone else to either solve the problem or just expecting people to just change, God is saying, I am in control. He said, I am the one who gets to decide. As we know, we see it every day, what our people of color go through. Some of us might say, well, I don't really experience that. But the reality is that when one of us hurt, we all hurt. When I sit here and I look at the news and I see what is happening in the world today, I cannot help but feel troubled or sad and then in turn worried. And when Chandele shared about her children in the story, her son who had that diagnosis and her fear because what we have been seeing in the media, and I personally watched that. Little kids, 5, 7, 8 are being handcuffed before they are being comforted and before the educators or even the police, use the right tactics to help these little children to control themselves and their behavior. They are being treated like criminals and they are being handcuffed, and that's supposed to teach them a lesson, but the only lesson it's teaching them is that they're not important, that their feeling it's not important, right? That they are not loved. So I could understand from Chandele's perspective, being a mom with a bouncy, young Black boy who is he's like 5, I think. and getting that diagnosis and then seeing right now in his fragile state that he's unable to really navigate his challenges. So of course there's outbursts, and now he's about to embark into school. It's a normal fear. But God don't want us to fear. God wants us to live in faith. He wants us to choose faith over fear all the time. And this is what this book is about. So I want to ask, like, how has your prayer, specific prayer, helped you, Tiffaney, as you wrote this book? How has that prayer help you to really connect with God and let go of that fear?
Absolutely. I have been a youth ministry leader for many, many years. I've taught kids to pray and to pour out how they feel to the Lord, but I wasn't even necessarily in this moment following my own advice when it came to this fear. And so when I allowed myself to pour out how I truly felt and my fears to God and to trust that He loves my children more than I ever could, and He cares for them, and no weapon formed against them will prosper, then I was able to overcome and to actually get some rest, to sleep at night, to know that, and to be peaceful, and to be still, and to, without melatonin, to get a good night's sleep because God was taking care of me. This prayer has helped me for years now, to know and to have comfort knowing that my kids are in good hands. I don't have to go peek into their rooms and see if they're breathing and go wake up in the middle of the night like so nervous. Did something happen? Did someone come through a window and take my daughter away? Those fears are over. That's the power of the prayer. And that's the power that people who are watching, they have that same prayer inside of them too.
Listen, you are so right. I mean, what you said, you don't have to go into the room and peek. You don't have to check to see if they're still there. Living like that is exhausting. Can you imagine how many parents are out there living like that? Living in that fear that something can happen to my child. That in itself could send anyone off the roof. Which is why in the story we also shared about how the fear has affected us emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally. Like, it had a time when people didn't want to talk about mental illness. Not anymore. Now we have to embrace it. We have to be open to have that conversation because people are carrying so much. And talking about mental illness is something that people in the Black community, have always sort of shy away from. Luckily, we have been talking about it, and because we also have people who are role models, right, talking about it now, then I feel people are also opening up. So when we think about how the fear affects you mentally and emotionally and physically, fear adds stress on the body. And stress in itself ignites pain. It causes you to lose sleep. It causes you to eventually become depressed. So Chandele, can you share like how that fear dealing with all the changes that your children were going through and what you had to process as a mom? Because now you have to rethink now your mindset. Like I have to go now and really try to figure out how can I parent my child in a world in chaos and in a world that don't really embrace us, right? How did that fear affected you mentally?
I felt as if I was starting to become paranoid. I was starting to be worried about everything that could possibly happen. I was starting to second guess every decision that anybody who dealt with my child made. I wanted to know if the decisions that were made was because he was a Black kid and it was a biased decision, whether they knew it or not. I had to really think about it and learn what his diagnosis was all about in order to be able to understand him and to be able to understand if the people around him were treating him right. And I was also very defensive all the time because I was afraid that somebody was doing something, saying something negative about my son. And I learned that as I continue to understand his diagnosis, and as I continue to trust God, that those paranoia, those thoughts that I have, they're really all within me. All of the things that I was afraid of, they were not really true, not to the extent that I thought that they were. And so those fears definitely really messed up how I interacted with my son and the things that I allowed him to do and the places that I allowed him to go. And that's just what fear does. It stifles you.
That's right. That's right. So, guys, now we're going to shift it a little bit, right? Because we're getting ready to sort of like round up this first group of women. And now we want to open it up. We want to hear from you, the viewers. We have a few of you on right now. And, this is a panel discussion. And we want to be able to answer your questions. So now we want to switch over now to a little bit of Q&A. And I would like you guys to type your question in the comment section so that we will be able to answer these questions. There is a little bit of a delay. So while I am waiting to see some questions surface, I am just going to talk a little bit more about this this book in general, right? So this anthology, I'm just going to share a little bit again about what God wants this book to do. Now, when God told me to write this book, he specifically told me Black mothers. And everyone who knows me specifically with what I do as an author, as a coach, as a speaker, I always try to include everyone. So when God gave me this specific mission, I had to become comfortable with it because I too had to step out of my comfort zone to really deliver what God wanted me to deliver. But I immediately fell in love with the vision, and I know that what God was trying to do. So as you guys are coming on, please just put your question there so we can answer. If within 2 minutes I don't see a question, we're going to move on. But if you do put a question in there, we promise to come back and answer it, right? So my particular story within this anthology, it was about my son. He had came up to me last year and said to me he want to buy a car. And any other good mom would feel so proud, right? Your son is driven. He want to go work and he want to go buy a car. He didn't ask mommy, can you buy me a car? He didn't ask mommy, can you assist me in buying a car? He said, I want to go and work so I can buy a car. And in my mind right away and in my heart right away, I felt fear. All I saw was my son's body riddled behind the car filled with bullets, because he was another statistic of a young Black man shot behind the wheel of a car because some cop couldn't control the temper or has a hidden agenda or is racist or claim to be afraid of my innocent son. And to be honest, I didn't want my son to buy this car. In that moment, I wish I could have fully controlled him. And that fear took over me completely. I know that there are many of you out there with fear. It may not be your son buying a car. Perhaps it might be a son going out or your daughter hanging out with friends. Perhaps it might just be your child following in a generational pattern in your family line. Let's be real. This book is not all about the inequality that Black people face. This book is a book that is created to help eliminate negative thinking and fear in Black moms. And we all have diversity of fear. My story may be about racism. Chandele's was about her son who has autism and being a Black man or a Black child or a Black person, how we are treated differently. Tiffaney's is about her child being kidnapped. you know, and as more authors come on, you would hear more about their stories. This book is a book that is here to really um, bring hope, enlightenment, healing, transformation to it could really be a blessing to all moms. And if you're not a black mom and you don't understand what we go through, what we feel, the fear that go through our mind, then I still want to encourage you to buy the book. Learn, educate yourself through our stories, right? About what we go through and how we live. When the average Caucasian mom say bye to their kids and kiss them goodbye and say, see you later, they don't have a doubt in their mind that the child is not going to come home. However, sad to say, it doesn't matter if you're a pastor or a bishop. It doesn't matter if you're in the police force or if you're a doctor. It doesn't matter what prestige title you have. Once you're black, when your little one goes out there, you know that they are an endangered species. The possibility of they not making it home or of you getting that call is real. And that is why so many black people are living in fear. And this is why this book is come to tell you, fear not, fear not. Put your trust in God because what is to be will be because he's in control. So I'm seeing that we don't have any any questions at the moment. So I'm going to take this time to really thank Tiffaney and thank Chandele for being here with me today, guys. You guys know that I appreciate you guys. Thank you for seeing the vision with me. Thank you for arming up and getting all dressed up like soldiers in the army. Thank you guys for embarking on this journey with me. But before you go, I want to give Tiffaney the opportunity to tell your readers, to tell your viewers, to tell your blue writers where they can follow you and where they can buy this book. So, guys, this book isn't out as yet. It's going to be out really soon. It's so Tiffaney will let you guys know where you could get the book on her page, and then we're going to go over to Chandele. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for staying there and watching this. It is Miss Phoenix Blue. You can go and find this book on my website. We are in pre-order season. So Phoenix, not like the mythical bird, Phoenix with an F for faith. So FENYX Blue Inc. Wixsite website. So if you type in Phoenix Blue Inc., you'll be able to get to my website, and I hope you will come and support us because this book is for you, and it's going to give you those solutions that you need, right? Our kids aren't monsters. Our kids are magic.
I love that. I love that. So, guys, please. Tonight is all about the authors, right? So I want you guys, please feel free to follow Phoenix on her Facebook page. If you're not a friend of hers, follow her. She also has a group, right? And as she said, she helps aspiring authors get published, just like myself. So this platform here is about really also putting them out there and sharing all what they do. And please, if you connect with Phoenix, I mean, you guys could connect with everyone. I know you can't go to everyone and buy the book, but you can still support because there's value that you can get from each and everyone within this dynamic group. Because we're not just Black mom, we're Black mom bosses, okay? So now I'm going to also bring on Chandele. And Chandele, please tell the viewers where they can follow you and where they can find the book or pre-order from you as well.
Hi, guys. You guys can follow me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Morris House Publishers. And then my website, you can buy the book from morrishousepublishers.com. It's easy to remember. It's my last name. So get it there.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am going to say bye to you guys now. And then I am going to bring on two of my dynamic. In fact, I think I have about three I am going to bring on Irina, and I am going to bring on Leslieann. Hi, guys. I'm not quite sure. I do not think that I did it, but where did Michelle go? She was right there. So, guys, I just want to thank everyone who are still on. Thank you, guys. Please, please, please share the video. Please tag a friend. Now, it's not the time to be stingy, guys. I want the viewership to be up some more because it's all about spreading the word. So, let's reset the room again. Let me bring Michelle back on. Michelle, I know I didn't boot you off. I don't know what happened there. But anyhow, I have three dynamic women on. So just before we continue, I just want to reset the room a little bit here. So I'd like to introduce myself once more as people are coming on. My name is Reea Rodney. I am an international best-selling author. I am so blessed to be the visionary of today's project. It's not about me today. It's really about these ladies. However, I thought it best that you guys know who's talking to you and who, is the person who's going to be, I guess, hosting this event today. So as you guys know, today is the secret prayer of a righteous Black woman, the power of a mother's love. It is our VIP panel. And I just remember I did not pick that book up with my group before. I'm going to do it here right now, guys. We have the proof copy, guys. Listen, I just want to give a testimony about how good our God is. So today is our VIP lunch, right? Or I should say our panel discussion. But guess what came in the mail today? It wasn't even planned. I mean, even when it came in the mail, I did not connect the dots, but our God, I just want to thank him. He said to me this evening, he said, hey, do you not realize that I've given you the book for your panel discussion guide? Listen, I'm going to bring this up for you guys a little bit. Let me just put myself on the screen here. Guys, listen. This is the book. It is here. It is thick. It is filled with so much nugget. I want you guys to know this book, it is going to be a life changer. It is going to be, hold on. Let me unmute you, ladies. Mike, it is going to be phenomenal. So I truly just want to thank you guys. So joining me here today, we have Irina, we have Michelle, and we have Leslieann. And guys, it's just such a pleasure to have you guys as always. So I am going to ask each of you to introduce yourself. I'm going to start with Irina. She's sitting on the top of my screen right next to me. So Irina, first I want to say you look beautiful. And thank you so much for being here today. Please, 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 just let's just take a short time and just tell our viewers who you are and what really inspired you to be a part of this anthology.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I am so proud to be a part of this anthology because it is definitely God-breathed, God-inspired. I've seen so many just even breakthroughs in my life personally, just even in writing this book and going all the way up to the publishing, the editing piece and the publishing and all of that. It's just been such a pleasure to work with Reea. Reea is very professional. She maintained her professionalism throughout, and she's just fantastic. So I want to encourage you first and foremost, if you are a writer or an aspiring writer, go and join her. She's got some upcoming anthologies, and you want to go ahead and join her. So that's first and foremost. Second, about me, I am a mom of 6, and I am very passionate about families, seeing families thrive. I am a creative, a visionary, a speaker, author, educator, and transformational coach that I just really help moms thrive beyond 9 to 5 and really bring peace and harmony to families by empowering the bridging the gap between the parent-child relationships. And so I am very excited to be here. I have another book that I have authored co-authored, and that's Coffee and Conversation, Streaming Cups of Audacity, Courage, and Persistence. And I'm just grateful to be here. So I am thankful for this time. So,
Well, thank you so much for sharing. You were going to say something? Go ahead.
I was going to say, with that, I could definitely keep going. There's some other things that I've done. I've worked with at-risk youth in a group home setting, and then but I really have, I can go into my story, but I'll let the others go. I know that we have some things coming up as well. So
Don't worry, we'll get time to share. And again, guys, it's all about following these authors. So even as you're on here right now and you're viewing, you could follow because you could, there's so much to share, right? And we can't share it all right here, but there's so much that I want you guys to know. So stay tuned as we continue to talk. We'll be sharing more. And what we don't get here, you could get in the book. What you don't get there, you could get in the Facebook group. So I just want to thank you, Irina, for sharing. So now I want to also invite Michelle to share. And Michelle, I want you to just tell us a little bit about who you are and what inspired you to be a part of this anthology. Like, what made you say yes to being here with us today?
Thank you so much, Reea. I decided to say yes to this because I recognize that we have to tell our stories about what we've gone through so that other women who are going through the same thing knows that they are not alone. A lot of times we take our fear and our insecurities and we stuff them away. We overcome and we keep moving, and people see us and they think maybe it was easy for us. And I want to encourage women, mothers, that it's okay to have some fear about raising your children, but you cannot let that fear be the driving force, dominate your life. And I hope that by sharing my story, there will be other women, other mothers who are going through, especially in light of everything that we've seen in our society in the last 2 years, but we could go back even through the history of the country. Black women and their fear of their sons and their children is part of our DNA. So how do we live our lives and be victorious, even knowing that there is things that are there that we have to deal with, but we still have to live our lives.
That's right. God don't want us to be in fear. But I always tell people, like being happy and being sad, being angry, being anxious, being cautious, these are all emotions. Fear is one of those emotions. And it didn't just come from anywhere. Fear is embedded in us. God gave us fear. A little bit of fear is okay. Think about it. If we didn't have fear, we'll stick our hand in the fire. We'll walk off a cliff, right? Fear keeps us grounded. It keeps us balanced. So fear is good. However, when we let fear overtake us, and then we become a product of fear, or we start living or being ruled by the spirit of fear, that is where it goes left. That is where it becomes sinful. That is where it becomes dangerous to our health, our mental being, our spiritual life. And unfortunately, that is where a lot of people, Black people, because that is who we're speaking to right now, that is where they are. They are overtaken by fear. And I know some of you may be saying, but that isn't me. And if that isn't you, I just want to say, God bless you. And I just want to ask you to continue praying for those of us who have been overtaken with fear, right? Because there are a tremendous amount of Black people, but we're going to talk about the moms who are walking around completely submerged in fear. And when you are living a life of fear, you become paranoid. It's hard to really have control, right? That fear makes us do crazy stuff.
Yes.
Right? That fear affects our joy, our peace of mind. And sometimes we feel that we could do it all. Sometimes we feel, one thing I realized with the pattern of the story we share in this anthology is that at one particular point in our life, we thought we had the control. We thought that we could hover over our kids. We thought that we could tell them what to do. We thought that we could control the situation. But we realized that that situation was bigger than us. And then at some particular point, we had to come to the understanding, to the realization that we had to give it over to God. Because let's be real, our kids are not our kids spiritually. They came from God, and He loved them even more than we love them. And He is able to protect them. So while we know that we are living in a world of chaos and there's so many things going on and there's so many dangers and there's so many enemy out to get them, we have to understand that our only defense and weapon is to trust God. And we came to that realization before we did this anthology. Some of you went through that healing while we were doing this anthology. So we know that there's breakthrough in this book. So Leslieann, I just want to welcome you now to the stage, and I want to ask you to please tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about what inspired you to be a part of this anthology today.
Okay, hi ladies, hi moms, hi viewers. Thanks for joining us. I'm Leslie. I'm a mom of two amazing, just wonderful children. Well, the eldest is a young man now, so I can call us our babies anymore, but they will always be our babies. I said yes to this anthology because I was speaking with Reea, and I was talking to her about some of the stories and fears that I had raising my son. And she's like, Les, you have a story. We all have stories to tell. And why not tell your story? So I said, yes, I'm going to tell. And I'm a very private person. I'm a very private person. But I chose to say yes to this because I remember how I felt parenting while single. And if I can help one single mom not feel the way I felt back then, I would open up my mouth, I would write it, and I would share it. So that's why I said yes. Just to help one person not feel the way I felt when I was doing it as a single mom.
That is powerful. Sometimes, even when I came out as an entrepreneur, I realized that I couldn't just always be about business. I had to also bring a little bit of my personal self to the forefront. Many times it's so hard for people to talk, to share. That is why there's so many people struggling in silence. They are struggling in silence because they are private. They are struggling in silence because they don't want to be judged. They're struggling in silence because they feel that if someone knows that they have an issue, that they are weak. So because of their self-image, as they see it being open or available to everyone in their private life, they tend to struggle in silence. But I want to thank each and every one of these moms because I'm telling you, we have pastors, we have evangelists, we have ministers, we have prophetess, and I'm calling them those particular names because specifically in the Christian faith, there is a misconception that, we we can't have struggles, or we can't have mental issue, or when something is going wrong with us, or if we share the favorite thing is to have faith, talk to God, pray. And yes, all of that is so important. But even while we were doing this book and writing it, while our first go-to is to pray and trust God, we also understood that there need to be some holistic ways as well. Some regular old tradition things, right? And as Leslieann said, she said, if I could help one mom, she was being selfless in that moment. We all are being selfless because we are sharing our story. If I could help one mom, well, I want to declare to you, Leslieann, that your story is not going to help one mom. You are here because God has seen it fit for you to be here, and that's for each and every one of us. But I'm speaking to you directly, and you have a wide audience of moms who are going to be healed, who are going to get breakthrough, who are going to be able to parent the children the way God wants them to parent the children, which is free from fear and full of faith in Him through your story. And I really love your story. I love the way how God could just, how He's in control. If anybody could be in control of my life and have me just like a little yo-yo, I want it to be God. Because, in Leslieann's story, she said, while she was worrying about this fear and getting ready to bust this fear and really being submerged with this fear, and praying and asking God about, shutting her from this fear showed up. Even when she wasn't aware, this fear was taken out.
Mhm.
And when she found out about the appearance of the fear, it was in the past tense. God had already done it for her. This is how God operates, guys. And through her story, people are going to know that, listen, it is already done.
Amen.
Oftentimes we pray to God and we ask Him for stuff, and then we come back every minute like if He forgot. God, don't remember, I said. God, remember, I said. Father, I'm waiting on you. He's already doing it, and God just wants us to be in faith. So I want to thank you for sharing that story with the hope if you can help one mom, because I know that there's so many single mom out there. Just for the single community alone, you're going to touch them. But then your story about the gangs, there's so many lives that are being impacted with gangs, right? And it's going to be a game changer. So I just want to again just thank everyone. Just to reset the room again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, please share, please tag a friend. Listen, this broadcast, it is important, it's inspirational, it's definitely anointing, and we're talking about our book, The Secret Prayer of a Righteous Black Woman, the power of a mother's prayer, guys. The power of prayer. Prayer changes things.
Yes.
So I just want to ask you, Irina, how have your specific prayer helped you deal with that fear? And how do you think, or what do you want your readers, when they read your story and read that prayer, what is your hope that they will get from it?
Okay, so I guess for me, it's all about really allowing God to be God. Because as you were talking, Reea, I wanted to have my hand in everything. And I wanted to just really, I tried to set up like the perfect arrangement, everything, make everything perfect, and even yet and still, in the midst of all of that, I discovered that I couldn't do that. And it was just, I felt devastated, like I failed. But I had to realize and come to a point where I realized that God is God and He is who He says He is.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
God will show up and do something. I mean, he loves our kids. He gave them to us to shepherd, to steward. But, and they're not ours, like you said, they're just here for us as a gift, and we're here to steward and shepherd them. And so my prayer has the for me, that really allowed me to really let go and to really let go of the situation. I write about in my chapter the addiction and the generational cycle that's happened with the addiction, and just I felt so terrified that it was going to affect them. And in the midst of it all, God really released me from carrying all of the shame, the guilt, the all everything. I mean, I felt like everything was too much for me, and I was on the nervous edge of a nervous breakdown, and worrying about things that I had no control over. So my prayer actually gave me the strength and the power to just be able to give over all of the control to Him and allow me to really start to find me and to deal with my trauma and get to a place of wholeness. So that's what my prayer did for me. It was just really, it was for me to just really allow my children to be who they are, and to realize that they have their own lives that they're living, and so they're going to have things. And so instead of trying to protect them and cover them and all of that, and all of that, kind of keep them in a nice little ball, just allow them to be free to be who they are. So that's in a nutshell, that's what my prayer did for me. And so I want to encourage you guys to continue to pray, because even throughout this book, it just showed me how real God is and how much he can do in the midst of all of this. So I'm grateful.
Yes, yes. Listen, we know that prayer is a secret weapon. It is the key. And once we pray with faith, that's the key thing, with
Yeah.
faith, then we can walk away.
Amen.
We can walk away. Prayer gives us liberty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Prayer makes us free. It gives us freedom. So that we can say to our kids, it's okay, go ahead, honey. It's okay, sweetie. See you later. Because we know we already pray to our God who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can even think about. That anything that we call on him for, we know that he can do it and it is already done. So it's so important to pray. And I pray that as you guys read this book, what I love about this anthology, I saw a book on Amazon once and it spoke about prayer. The title had prayer. But when I went into the comment, somebody gave the book a 1 star. And I think if they could give it 0, probably they will. And they were so upset. You want to know why? Because the title had prayer. But when they purchased the book and they went in, it had no prayer. You will not be disappointed, because this book is filled with 12 secret prayer. Come on, guys. We came out of the closet. We came out of the closet and we share our prayer with you guys. I share in my story about my fear. And I share how that fear, the deepest place that fear has taken me. And let me tell you something. I am a coach. I empower people. I tell you, you can do it. I tell you not to quit. I tell you, go beyond your mindset. But here I was, my son telling me about his big mission and plan. And I became his secret enemy. Me, Mama Bear. Every time I think about it, I am moved to tears. And I also felt guilt. I felt ashamed. I felt like an imposter. Because when he came to me, he said, Mommy, I'm going to work construction with my cousin this summer and I'm going to buy a car. And in my mind, I'm like, really? Why? Why? And then I'm secretly, guys, listen, I came out of the closet with this story. I secretly wish that he did not succeed. The mother who encourages her children, the mother who will run the field as they play soccer from left to right, left to right. I am the second coach. The mother who will pick their head up. Here I was, secretly, not praying to God, but deep within. Change your mind, spend the money, don't do it. But I had to realize, but God, something happened to me and I felt so embarrassed. Have you ever felt embarrassed of where the fear has taken you as a mom? I felt so embarrassed and so hurt that I had to pray. And my prayer was a prayer of overcoming and a prayer of protection. Because we got to overcome the fear. And we got to understand that God is our protection. So we just have to give it over to him. And with that, I'm going to bring Michelle on. And Michelle, I want you to share how have your prayer, your secret prayer impacted your life? And what is your hope that when readers read your story and read that prayer, what do you want them to get from that?
Yes, thank you so much. I want to say, first of all, that prayer is eternal. So, regardless of when you say a prayer for your son or your daughter, know that you are putting that prayer out there. And even if it's not something that is realized in this moment or is needed in this moment, at that time when that prayer is needed, it is going to be activated, and God is going to do in the life of your children what it is that needs to be done in that moment. My prayer was a prayer of covering. I began to pray for my sons when they were in my womb. I had a deep desire for them to have a kind of life that was different than what I had growing up. And I was so afraid that they would have an encounter with the police officers and end up hurt or end up in jail. And so I was very strict on them, and really to the point where they weren't able to really grow like they needed to and learn how to do things on their own. And so as I began to pray and read Psalm 91, I saw that I couldn't be one who, he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I couldn't be the person that believed that and then also believe that that same Most High God could not cover my sons. And so as I'm telling other people, you have to trust God, you got to obey God, you got to walk in your calling. And then I'm doing something totally different in my closet. I'm not really walking that out because I don't believe that God can cover my sons, or my behavior doesn't demonstrate what I say I believe. So as I begin to really walk in that prayer, pray it, believe it, and actualize it, I was able to do some things because we still are responsible for parenting our children, but we do not have to parent them in fear. We can parent them in victory and in power and in love. I still put boundaries around them, but those boundaries were more out of me doing what God has called me to do as a mother, as opposed to what I'm doing out of fear. So as you fear, just realize it's nothing to judge yourself over. Every one of us has been there. Even people who will say that they haven't, I would challenge them that maybe they need to really think about that. And it's okay, but don't stay in that place. Let that fear be overcome by your faith and to begin to walk at the level that God has created you to be, because your fear can tear you down and paralyze you so much so that you don't do the things that you're supposed to do in the life of your children or even in your own life. So a prayer of covering to keep you in that place where you know that God has you. You're wrapped in his wings and he is going to be with you every step of the way. Thank you, Dara.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Guys, listen, as we know, prayer is the key. Prayer is the key. But one of the main thing with prayer is that when you decide to pray, you got to have faith,
Yes.
right? And then once you activate that faith, then you got to let go
Yes.
and let God. And our hope for every Black mom is that you will be able to let go and let God take control. It is so profound because God said, he said, I am God Almighty. Nothing happened unless I say it, right? Unless I say so. Sometimes I've heard people ask the question, why does our God allow someone to die that way? Why did this happen to that person? Why did that child have to die? I don't have the answer. You don't have the answer. He's God. He can do it. He can do whatever he wants. And while we may not understand what is happening, we have to trust God and trust his process. And even in this space right now, what has worrying got us? Every day take a day out of our life, probably, add some gray hair. It does nothing more than damage. It does nothing more than damage. But when we give it over to God and we trust him and we pray to him, then we have to activate faith, trust and believe that his will be done, not our will. It does sometimes we may not get what we want, but we have to still trust that he will answer our prayer and let go. And I hope that this book will allow everyone reading it to really build first a relationship with God, if you don't have one, to be able to, I guess, rebuild a relationship with God if your relationship is rocky, to increase your faith in God so that you could really be able to get that breakthrough. So, Leslieann, I'm coming to you now. How has your prayer impacted or affected this fear that you once had? And what is your prayer or your hope for the moms as they read about your prayer. As they read that prayer, what do you want to happen?
Okay, how it has affected my fear, how my prayer affected the way I think about fear. Well, for many years, I have been praying. I have always believed in prayer. I just went to another level, started trusting the God that I am praying to. Because many times I feel like we believe, and believing is all well and good, but we don't trust that the same God we believe Him to do things for others will do that for us. And I
Yes.
think I started to believe and trust God to be God Almighty. That the love He had for the person that I prayed for, and I saw the turnaround and I saw the answer prayer happen, that's the same God that will answer my prayer. So I started to trust Him for me. I started to trust Him for my son. I am trusting Him for my family because He has proven Himself trustworthy. And what I would like moms to take away from this, or anyone that reads the book actually, I would like them to know trust God. He hears and He answers. He don't hear and do nothing. Even when it seems like nothing is happening, trust me, God is always up to something. Always. So
Yes.
pray, believe, and trust Him.
Yes,
And
Lord.
in that, trust yourself too. Give yourself a little credit. You're connected to the source. We
Yes,
are
Lord.
connected to the source. So the same God that we are praying to, He lives in us. So we have some power attached to us. Let me trust the power that lies in us. There is power in us. And I pray the reader gets that you have the power because you're connected to God. Trust the God in you.
That is powerful. He
Mm-hmm.
is our source, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He's our source. You know, when you think about your job is your resource. God is your source. He's the one who provides. And He might provide for you through that job. He might provide for you through someone else being a blessing. But make no mistake that God is the source. He
Mm-hmm.
is the fountain. It comes from Him. And once we learn how to really trust Him and to understand that whatever we are seeking help with, whatever is troubling us, whatever is causing us to not be able to function in the way that He wants us to function, that we have to go to Him. He is our source. He is our source. When I felt embarrassed and when I had that epiphany, like, Reea, look at where the fear has taken you. You are completely functioning out of character.
Mm-hmm.
I had to give it all to God. And I remember when
Mm-hmm.
I fell on that my knees in my bedroom and I started to pray to God, it was like prayer became alive for me for some reason. It was almost like I forgot prayer even exists. The level and depth in which I went to when I prayed to God, I was delivered from that fear in that moment. Now, in my chapter, I also share different tools that you could use. But I am going to be quite honest. Prayer did it for me alone. Prayer did it for me alone. And I do not worry about my son behind that car anymore because I know that he's in the master hand. And I know that if he is to die that way, then that will be the way. If he's to die by drowning, he will die by drowning. If he's to die in his sleep, he will die in his sleep. So I prefer to just trust my God. And that's what I love
Mm-hmm.
about this book. We are letting you know that you have to trust him. You got to put that faith in him. So right now, I just want to thank you, ladies, so much. We do have a question, and the question is that from Iris. She's saying that thanks to each and every one of you for sharing, and she wants to know how much does this book cost. So this book is going to be for $17.99, and you can find this book on each on the author platform. So at the end of every author segment, they are going to tell you how you could follow them. And if you keep up with our page, the book is not out as yet. I will not be given a specific location, but most definitely, each and every author is going to be selling their copy of this book. It's an anthology. It's 12 of us. So there's 12 different platforms that this book, it's more than 12, but at least 12 author platform. So this book is going to be for $17.99. And guys, let me tell you something. You buy the Jordans, you go out and you buy the steak, the lamb, the sheep, the goat. We do our nails. I went and did my nails today, and I didn't even listen, guys. Look at it. I don't even wear false nails. It's just a gel coated. I do my little wax, and I paid $70, and with tip, that was about almost $75, $80. You could buy this book. This book is your therapy. This book is a therapist in one. It is a Sunday morning sermon in one. It is a deliverance service. It has everything in it. It is that best friend that sticks closer than a brother. It is the secret prayer. It is that companionship. Listen, this is your go-to. You want a life coach? I am a certified life coach, but listen, we dish all the tools that the coach will give you that you're going to pay how much $100 for per session. So I'm telling you, this book have it all in it. It is worth it. And what this book also have in it that people do not know is that when you buy the book, it has a link in here, and it's going to give you our journal. And the journal is called The Secret Prayer of a Righteous Black Woman, The Power of a Mother's Prayer Breakthrough Journal. Learn how to eliminate negative thinking and fear. So it's a journal that is specific for the mom. You are going to be able to ask yourself some thought-provoking questions pertaining to your fear of parenting your Black child. You are going to have the opportunity to write your own personal prayer for your child, and you're also going to have the opportunity to write that prayer for your life. You are going to take control over your life. You're going to affirm yourself daily. So again, it is worth the $17.99, guys. So with that, I am going to give Michelle the opportunity to tell our viewers where they can find her. So Michelle, please, where they can find you and where they can buy the book on your platform, if that information is available.
Yes. You can find me on Instagram at Michelle W. Fuqua, Facebook, Michelle W. Fuqua, and you can purchase the book by going to my website, www.michellewfuqua.com, michellewfuqua.com. Click on shop, and it'll take you to the page to purchase the book on pre-order.
It's on pre-order right now, guys. So again, Fuqua, Fuqua. Okay, right. So Irina, please tell them where they can follow you and where they can purchase the book if that info is available.
Okay, so I'm just going to keep it very simple, guys, and you can go to my Instagram, and my Instagram is at Hope Reconnect. So that is www.instagram.com/Hope Reconnects, and you can go in my Instagram bio. I have a link tree, and that link tree will lead you to all the different offers, including the book that I have to offer. So and to be able to pre-order. So thank you so much. I'm grateful. It's going to be very powerful. It is very powerful.
Thank you. So guys, you can follow her on her Instagram, and in that link in the bio, you will get everything. You will get the book, you will get the program, you will get the coaching, you will get everything. So please don't hesitate to follow. It's all about showing support one way or the other. We are Black women, Black bosses, Black entrepreneurs, Black authors, and we are just here, just sharing our story, sharing our wealth of knowledge with the hope that we can impact and help change the life of so many different people. So Leslieann, can you please share with the viewers where you can be found, and also where they can purchase the book?
Okay, you can follow me on Facebook. You can DM me, and you can get on my email list for pre-orders. So DM me or follow me on Facebook. Those who know me personally, reach out to me via email or author Leslieann Jack at gmail.com, and all the information will be forwarded to you until we place it on public. Okay, you got a VIP info.
Yes. So guys, again, email her at author Leslie Leslieann Jack. Look, her name is there, LeSliannJack@gmail.com. Also follow her on Facebook. You can DM her, right? Don't hesitate. So someone just asked a question from Trinidad. So they asked, how can they get the book in Trinidad? Don't worry, Trinidad. You guys know I am from Trinidad and Tobago, and I don't ever leave my people out. Well, guess what? We have an author coming up later on, and she is from Trinidad, and she will be controlling all the distribution in Trinidad. So if you want to have a book, when she comes on, she will be able to share with you guys. But the book will be available to everyone in Trinidad, okay? So don't worry, we did not leave you guys out. All right. So I just want to thank you, ladies, so much for tuning in. I am going to see who's up next. I'm going to be meeting with Debra Turner. I'm going to be meeting with Pamela and also Marlene. So, guys, I just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Again, today it's all about the secret prayer of the righteous Black woman, the power of a mother's prayer. This is our VIP panel discussion where you have the opportunity to meet the authors, ask your question, hear more about them, hear more about their stories. This book is just so amazing. While I'm waiting for my other guests to come on, I'm just going to have you ladies hang out. I'm going to talk a little bit about the book. I just want to share a little bit about, or should I read the book description, the dedication? Let me share the dedication with you guys. This book is dedicated to all Black mothers for always going beyond your natural abilities to love, care, provide for, protect, and nurture your children. In spite of all the adversities encountered, challenges faced, and fears experienced in the process of parenting your Black prince and princesses. This anthology is a celebration of and a tribute to all Black mothers who pray, slay, and always find a way. You are amazing. You are strong. You are beautiful. So I want you to remember that, okay? You are amazing. You are strong. And you are beautiful. So don't you forget it. And before I escort these lovely ladies off the stage, I just want to also share that, this book is already a #1 best-selling book. And we are all international best-selling authors. So let me tell you guys something. God told me when he gave me the vision, he said that this is going to be a global movement. And for it to be a global movement, it can't only be doing good in America, right? Not because we hear from the US and Trinidad. So let me tell you something. This book is already working in India, it's working in UK, it's working in Europe. So let me tell you something. This book is on the rise. It's already in high demand, guys. And with the work of God, we have to labor, right? Faith without, work without, faith without work is death. So we still have to work. We have to labor. We have our part to do. Like soldiers in the army, we have to get clothed up and ready to march out. But we know who's our protector, our provider, and we know our God is going before us, and he's making the way where they seem to have no way, and he's chopping down every obstacle, and he's making bridges that we can walk over, and he's giving us the visibility so that we can be seen. You understand me? And he's giving us the audience. So I know today, whether we have 17 people on or 100 people on, I know that this book and what we are doing, it is going to be international. It is going to touch life. And one thing I know for a fact is that we may not know the direct impact this book is going to have. But trust and believe it is going to impact a tremendous amount of people. It is. And you ladies, myself including, we are going to be blessed because we heard God, we obey God, and he is a promise keeper.
Yes.
So get ready, ladies. Breakthrough is coming. Blessing is coming. You know, we did it just because God said so, but he reward those who diligently seek him. So, you know, let's just get ready, guys. I love you, ladies. I'm going to have to say bye-bye to you guys right now. I didn't want to, but, you know, bye.
Thank you.
Oh, man. So I am going to bring on, I see I have Debra Ray on here with me. I am going to bring you on right now, Mrs. Debra. Thank you so much for being a part of this program. Guys, listen. I am missing two of my orders right now. I don't know where they are, but nevertheless, I know one of my order, it have no electricity, guys, no electricity. Like, listen, that was me last last week, sometime last week. I had no electricity. Okay, I'm seeing that Pamela is also here. So we kind of going in a different order, but it's okay because, you know, this is how it have to go sometimes, right? So, guys, I just want to thank you guys again. For anyone who is now tuning in, my name is Reea Rodney. I am a certified life coach. I am an international best-selling author. I have published 21 books. You know, I am just blessed to be here. I am the visionary author behind this project. You know, God came to me late last year, and he said to me that I am to write an anthology. And this book, it was a direct download from God. I'm telling you, he has really taught me, coached me along the way. When you have a relationship with God, guys, listen, he could do it all. He could be your teacher. He could be your leader. He could be your coach. He could be that confidant. He can really do it all. I'm telling you, God walk with me, talk to me, whisper to me. And as a result, we are here today with this book. So I am just so happy. So for those of you who are tuning in, please, 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 please like, share, and tag a friend. Let's get this viewership going because, you know, we want to spread this word as far as it can go. So here today with me, I have Debra Ray and I have Pamela Wilson. So guys, these are two phenomenal women. Debra, I'm seeing you have a poster behind your head there. Listen, she went all out, guys. No, listen. Debra is the grandma that I strongly believe everybody would like to have. She is that saucy grandma. She could be nurturing. She could be vulnerable. You know, she's very humble spirited. So most definitely, I am also I'm seeing I have Rhonda Martin. Charles, are you ready to go on? If you are, you could give me a thumbs up and I'll bring you on. Good. So I'm going to bring her up as well. So, hey guys, so now the screen has 4 people on it, and I'm so happy. So, those of you who don't know, Rhonda Martin Charles is my sister. We are twins. Let me just take 1 minute, Debra. I'll come back to you because I'm going to start with you, but I can't just bring Rhonda up just like that, you know. You know, she's my eldest sister, right? She's the first in the batch. She made the room for Mawat to come, you know. She made the room. And we grew up as what they call Russian twins, literally 1 year apart, just 1 month between us. So definitely such a pleasure to have you on, Big Sis, and for also being in this ride with me. So coming back to Debra, you know, Debra again is a grandma that everybody would love to have, you know, and it's such a pleasure to have you on here, Debra. So I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to please introduce yourself and to please share with our viewers what inspired you to say yes to this anthology, you know, and like, how was it? Or I should say, what do you want your readers to get from your story? It's a little twofold, right? Tell us a little bit about yourself and then dive right in there about why you said yes to this anthology, and you could touch a little bit on your story. Take it away.
Okay. Well, first of all, my name is Debra Turner-Ray, and I'm just grateful to be here. Okay. When I saw this, on Facebook, and I was like, okay, God, I think I want to be a part of this, but I'm going to allow you to lead me. And that's what he did. He opened up every door that I needed in order for me to be a part.
Won't
And
he do it?
yes. And the thing that got me the most was I thought about the movie The Temptations, when the people that had pushed the temptation to the side, and then when they made it big, they were sitting there holding their head like this. And I said, no, that's not going to be me. I'm going to be a part of this because this is going somewhere, because God has showed me. So for that, I'm eternally grateful. My story is about molestation. Being molested as a child. And what I would like for it to do is to bring awareness. Children tend to hide things. And a lot of times adults will, when the child brings it to them, the adult will hear it, but they don't want to accept it. And it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a very hard pill to swallow. And when you are trying to explain to your parent that somebody bothered you, and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, it won't happen again. But what I would like is to see children communicate. When the children communicate, and for the parent to listen to what the child is saying, because 9 times out of 10, the child is not lying. Something did happen. And there's a difference between a good touch and a bad touch. And a parent needs to pay attention to that. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I was able to share that. I didn't want to, but Reea was very persuasive. That that was a story that I was truly keeping under the rug. So I'm grateful that I brought it out. I'm truly grateful. I am. So
see, guys, she pushed me under the rug. Like, how would I even know the story if she didn't tell me, right? I am not psychic, But I think what she's trying to say, we know we all have a story, and sometimes that story we know it can change life. We know that this story is so important, yet still, we are afraid. We are afraid because we don't want to be judged. We are afraid because sometimes we feel that our story may stain us, or people may form some other opinion of us. And sometimes we have to understand that in order for healing to even start from within us, we got to share. And there were a few of my authors who were able to find breakthrough, were able to come to that place of healing while they were going through this process. So this anthology is not even just about what our stories can do for others, but our story first heal and transform our own life, because we were able to bring it out. And I could relate to Michelle, because when I was a young child, I was touched, I was molested. And I remember very, very young, I remember the fear that came upon me. I didn't want to be on news. All I thought about was me being on the news, and everyone knew. So I hid it. I kept it to myself. It ate me deep down within, and it became like the boogeyman below my bed. It was everywhere in my mind, my self-conscious, and I could relate. And God had already given me my story, but when she came and she told me that, I said, listen, this needs to be told here. So many children, so many families, so many homes that are affected with molestation, and by you talking about it and sharing how you were able to heal, and how you were able to let go and let God, because you will be a grown-up, right? Because imagine this happened to you when you were a young child, or with me when I was a young child. But I'm telling you, it was in my parenting. Mm-hmm. It was in my parenting. Like when I come home, I'm opening the door, like I'm pushing the door in and I'm walking in. Mm-hmm. But I already come with all that energy. You're afraid to send your kids out. They can't have the normal kid's life, like go to do a sleepover, even sometimes by family member, because you are traumatized with what you've been through.
Yes.
But even that we need deliverance from, we need breakthrough from. And there's some homes and some people who are going through, well, guess what? The secret prayer of a righteous black mom talks about that. And there's a prayer that is in this book and a story that could touch family. So I want you guys to know that this book has diversity of fear. Not all the fears within this book is based on racism or inequality, right? We are talking about real fear. We heard from the authors before. Someone's background is very noisy. We heard from the authors before. We had Tiffaney who talked about the fear of her children being trafficked, right? We had Michelle who talked about the fear of her sons being arrested, right? Incarcerated, right? We had Irina who dealt with alcoholism or addiction. We had Chandele who talked about her son being autistic and the mental aspect and the stigma that comes with that, right? And then the way you are treated as a black person carrying that disease, right? Now we have Debra, she's talking about being molested. We have Leslieann who spoke about the gangs. So I want you guys to know that this book, it has diversity in the stories and the fear. So now I'm going to bring on Pamela Wilson. And Pamela, I would like you, let me unmute your mic. I would like you to please share a little bit about yourself and share what inspired you, or why did you say yes to this anthology, and what you believe your story can do for the readers. We are not hearing you. I'm not hearing you. Your mic is unmuted. So I'm not sure if it's the audio on your end. So I'm going to leave you to sort the audio, or probably check the audio on your computer. In the meantime, I'm going so that we could keep it moving. Can you talk? And I can see if I hear you. Not hearing you. So just try to probably hear what to do. Log back, log out, come back in, and probably see, you have to log on with your mic. I mean, I put you on here with the mic, but I don't know what you're doing on your end. So let's try that, right? Log out and come back on. In the meantime, I'm going to move over to Rhonda. Rhonda, it's a pleasure to have you here. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you said yes to the anthology, and about your hope that, with this, with your story, what you hope the readers could get from that. I'm not hearing you either. I really believe it's your devices. So like Pamela, log out and log back in, and you guys please come back. And I guess Debra and I will talk because it's an issue on your end. You guys will have to probably check your device. So I don't know if StreamYard need permission to get in contact with your audio. Okay? So Debra.
Yes.
I guess it's just you and I, Check.
It's me and you know.
That is life for you. That is life for you,
Yeah.
That is life for you, right? Things happen, but the thing is that we could be instrumental, we could go with the flow, and it gives me more time to talk. And anybody who knows me knows that I am a talker. So if you guys have any questions, please put the question in the comment. We will come to it because we want to hear from you guys. So I just want to ask a question right now. So far, we have some viewers on. I'm seeing about 60 of you on, and based on what you guys have heard thus far, do you guys believe that this book is needed? We want to hear from you. What are your views? Put it in the question. Put it in the comment, and as I see the comment, I will read it and I will address it. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for the audio to come up, I am going to share a little bit more about this book. So, because it's all about the secret prayer. So I read the dedication earlier on. So let me just change my heading. I read the dedication earlier on, and now I think I'm going to share. We have a secret nugget in the back. It's beautifully written by Nzinga Fortune, and it is a spoken word that you will not find nowhere out there because it was written for this book. I have no problem at all sharing the spoken word because I know that this book is blessed, and I know that you guys are going to be blessed by it as well. And this spoken word, like I said, it's anointed. I thank God for it covering here. This spoken word, it is written by Nzinga Fortune. She lives in Trinidad. She is my favorite cousin, and she's super talented. And when I was doing this book at first, I had no idea or thought about a spoken word until perhaps about 6 weeks ago, it came into my spirit that at the end of this book, it should have a declaration over the mom. Like when they read this particular spoken word, it is a declaration that they are making over their life. And I felt inspired to make it a spoken word. So this was written specifically for this book, and it is copywritten. So don't you dare try to take it. Okay. The name of it is called Fearless, Not Careless. In all things, I am walking in his light. I am fearless only because of his might. He directs my path. He healed me from all my inadequacies. He removes all the pain. He erased all my shame. He rebuked all darkness from this heart. He is my source. Yeah, the creator, he is my driving force. To him, I owe every glory. I will not fear. I will not fear. Yet though I walk through the valley of doubt and despair, I will not fear, because this much is clear. The Lord, he is my light and protection. Whom shall I fear? No one. The Lord is my path and my direction. Of what shall I be afraid? Nothing. I was created in his image and likeness. Melanated skin like copper, hair like wool, a beautiful black queen, the original Eve, mother to my brown-skinned boys and girls. Like I said, fearless, not careless. I am no superhero, but to my kids, I am their shero. I am brave in his glory. I am strong in his mercy. I am faithful in his righteousness. I am fruitful in his blessing. I am powerful in his word. I am a child of God. If you love it, let me see some hearts, guys. Let me see some hearts. Let me get some emoji in the comment section. Like, guys, this is powerful. Like, if you love this, listen, guys. This is a whole declaration over your life. Think about it. After you have read these powerful, intimate, transparent, life-changing, breakthrough, chapters, and after you have read this powerful, anointing, fully charged up prayer, at the end, you are going to speak a declaration over your life, eliminating fear, removing doubt, declaring that you know who your master is. You know who is in control. And also speaking over your life, you are affirming who you are. I am blessed. I am brave. I am fruitful. I am powerful. I am strong. I am a child of God. Won't he do it? Oh, yes, he will. For Deborah, it looked like it's me and you, girl. I tried to stall a little bit, but listen, this is technology. I have some authors who are MIA. I have some authors who are having some technical difficulties. But if you know me, you know I'm very optimistic. When something happens, I already know how to move forward because that's the mindset I have. And by the way, I just want to add that we are in the middle of doing 2 more anthologies, and one of it is called 2020, the year all the lemons were served, finding optimism in the midst of a pandemic. Optimism, that's my middle name or my first name, so that is the brighter side of the pandemic. So when life gives us lemonade, we know how to make lemon. When life gives us lemon, we know how to make lemonade. So Debra Ray, let's make some lemonade. I get to talk to you a little bit more and ask you a little bit more question about this particular anthology. So, as we look at what's happening in the world today, let's just look at what happening specifically to people of color, right? Look at what happened just last year. I remember we could go years ago, right? But let's just look at the recent events. We had so many killings. We had so many moms, so many Black moms, oh my goodness, who had to mourn their children being killed. Now, make no mistake, quite a few were by the hands of the cops. Aside from that, we have a lot of gangs that are taking over. We have the Black on Black crime, let's be real. There's so many different things that are plaguing us. But when we look at the Black community and we see what are taking place, how have these recent events affected you, or what are your thoughts about these events?
Okay. I guess because me growing up in the 60s and 70s during the Black Power movement and all of that, and then to witness.
It's very noisy.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. By me growing up,
Is there television or something on in your background?
it might be. Wait, close the noisy.
Yeah, it's really affecting the feed.
Yeah, my house is noisy. It's a lot of people.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay. Like I said, by me growing up in the 60s and the 70s during the Black Power movement, and then to witness the things that I witnessed then, and then to turn around and see this now. And each police officer has on their car, we serve and protect. But what are you protecting? And who are you serving? Because it's not the Almighty God that you're serving with the things that you're doing. With the George Floyd thing, I was in Minnesota when they went for the verdict, April the 20th. I was there, and they shut down the entire city. They blocked it up. They boarded up everything because they didn't know what the verdict was going to be for the police officer. But the thing was, I went to where the memorial was, which was a beautiful memorial for him. I have pictures and everything. It's simply beautiful, but it was more Caucasian people and people of different races there than it was Blacks. It was simply beautiful. The way it was a non-violent thing, it was a non-violent protest. But the things that had gone on, like with Breonna Taylor and all the young man, I can't think of where he was from, Kansas City or something, and he got shot in his back, and it was just, and now he's paralyzed, and just from the hands of the police officers. Like I said, they say they serve and protect, but who are they serving and who are they protecting? It's not us. It's not us. It does affect me because I see it. I see it, and I saw it years ago, and then to turn around and see it again, like they say, it's the circle of life. It's a full circle. It's like it's coming back around again, and it's sad. It's sad, and that's why we have to pray and continue to keep worshiping God and praying because it's something.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm telling you honestly, like, there's so much, right? There's so much. And like you said, like, we have to pray and we have to keep trusting God, because when that incident with George Floyd took place last year, and then we had with also the young lady, her name for some reason, Breonna Taylor, right? And then even early on this year, there's so many. I remember I was doing some research just about the book and just trying to just get myself acquainted with some of the recent chain of events. And I put into Google, Black people who were perhaps killed by the cops, or, just those things. And I was amazed when I saw the list. It's not even making TV. It's not making the news, just a few. I was amazed by this list, and it truly, truly broke my heart. And I think, again, that is where the fear comes in, right? Because, knowledge is power, but knowledge can also be disturbing. When we know things or we get to see things, right now we have social media, and social media is, it brings everything to the forefront and it makes it so good. We live in a technological time now where our cell phone has camera and we could videotape. And as a result of that, so many things are coming to the forefront. But you can't unsee what you have saw when something happened. When you see a young boy or a girl being victimized or brutalized, or when you see that body of that person laying on the ground, whether it's by the hand of a cop or another Black killing or the gangs or whatever the case may be, you can't help but feel traumatized. You can't help but worry. We are living in a time where we are surrounded by everything that can make us turn our eyes off of God, that could take our faith away from us. It was a little over a month ago, I was watching the news and I'm seeing this Hispanic woman walking with her 3 kids. And all of a sudden, a red car pulled up in the broad daylight. And the guy came out and snatched her young son from her hand and put him in the back seat. It had 2 persons in the car, the driver and the passenger. And the mom ran to the back seat, and the window was rolled up. And she manages, and his little siblings, young kids, they could be like 5, 7, probably 3. They were pounding on the window. And I was thinking all of that, but they didn't speed off right away. I don't know if they were trying to get things together. But the mom happened to put her hand over the driver's shoulder and the driver's side and pulled her child out, guys. And I couldn't believe what I was watching, but right away I thought about Tiffaney, Phoenix Blue, one of our authors, that fear her children being kidnapped, trafficked. And I was like, my God, broad daylight. He grabbed a child, put a child in the back seat. Like, that could have been it for that child. And there we have it. Our fears are being relived over and over because we are seeing it on the media. We are hearing it on the news. We are reading it on the newspaper. So what can we do when we are living in all this chaos? Are we going to continue being in fear? Or are we going to trust God? Are we going to give it over to him and truly allow him to just lead us in this moment? That is what we have to do. And that is what this book is encouraging you to do. It's encouraging you to leave that secret fear. First, to begin, you got to make it an open fear. You got to bring the fear out, call it out by its name. You got to pray against that fear. You got to give it over to God and you got to let go. And this is what this book is meant to do. It is meant to help you break free. It is meant to help you let go. It is meant to help you find healing. It is meant to help you find that deliverance. It is meant to help you be the parent that you are destined to be. When God chose you, He chose you for a reason. He chose you, He chose me. It's not by chance that we have those beautiful children. And
Yes.
we have a that's right, and we have a responsibility. We
Yes.
do have a responsibility. So tell me, Debra, how important or impactful is prayer in the life of a mother? Now, again, guys, we are focusing on mom, Black mom. So we know prayer is essential for everyone, but we want to zero in on how important prayer is for Black mothers.
It is. It is as important as breathing. Uh, prayer. Prayer is the way you start your day. Prayer is when the children walk out of the door to go to school. Prayer is when you pray with them before they go to school. Prayer is when you pray for them while they're in school. Prayer is when you pray for yourself. Prayer is when you pray for others. Uh, every day I have a prayer line that I do every morning at 9 a.m. Central Time, and the people come on, and so many people, and we have, the prayer line has really grown, and we are praying for the children, especially now with COVID, and these children have gone back to school, and just the idea of them possibly contracting the virus, even though my children, my grandchildren have been vaccinated. But that's not to say that the other children, and right now it doesn't even matter if you've been vaccinated, you're still contracting. You're still contracting
Yes, yes.
the different variants that are out there. Matter of fact, we just went through that with my husband. So, and we've all been vaccinated, and he ended up contracting COVID, but it was like a head cold. But like I say, what it is that praying for your children is constant. It's like breathing, because once they are out of your sight, you're praying for them to be safe. You're praying for them to make it back home. It was a young lady here in Chicago. Her name was Hadia Pendleton, and there was a big controversy because she was the one who she just performed at the White House for Obama, and there she was in the playground, and some guys walk up and start shooting. And when she left home, I'm sure her parents thought she was coming back home. You know, just like when you let your kids go out the door to go to school, go to the store, just to go anywhere. Prayer for a Black mom is as essential as breathing. Anytime those children are not in your sight, or even when they're in your sight, you have to just pray a silent prayer, just a prayer, constant. It's constant. It's constant.
And I want to add to that, we all know that prayer is the key, but the key with prayer is faith.
Yes.
And I just want to add that I believe that once we pray to God and we bring that fear to Him, we have to transition now into thanking God. We have to now activate that faith. We have to see that whatever it is that we are believing in God for, that it is already manifested first in the spirit. So we must be able to transition after we pray to God to thank Him. And I think that is where a lot of people get stuck, because we go into a repetitive, we're playing over and over and over for the same thing. And by doing that, it contradicts our faith. Because if we have faith, then we know once we pray, it is done. So we have to move over into thanking God. So, Father God, I thank you every day. I thank you for covering my children. I thank you for protecting them. I thank you, God, for healing me. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for your grace. And we have to move on to that place where we are really asking God for or thanking God. So for those of you who are on today, who are new, I'm just going to be mindful that we have people popping in and out of our live. Today we are on and we are just sharing with you guys a little bit about our book, about the message, about the stories that are within, and most definitely we just want to thank you guys for viewing. If you haven't shared or tag a friend, please do. Remember the video is going to be here. They're going to be able to even listen to it on the replay. Now, this book, it is already an international and #1 best-selling book. Currently, we are doing pre-orders. I am here talking with one of the co-authors. We had quite a few who were on earlier, and we have a few who are absent right now due to technical difficulties. There's always things happening, but I'm thankful that we can be instrumental, that we can still be here. I would like to play over again our promotional, or I should say our informational video that really shares about the book, share about the message. While the book has a diverse amount of message within it, I just want to say that one of the core thing is that keeps our Black moms up at night is that when we send our children out, we know that there's a threat against them, right? We know that there's a visible threat because of the color of their skin. We know that, there's a likelihood, there's a chance that something could happen. And while we understand now, we want to enlighten people to let them know that it is not in their control. We got to give it to God. That threat is real. So I'm going to share the video here right now, and then we are going to come back and chat, Deborah. So. Never Let a Good Crisis Go to Waste Global Movement presents The Secret Prayer of a Righteous Black Woman, the Power of a Mother's Prayer book anthology. It takes a lot of courage to share our deepest parenting worries. But worry is what we do as parents. For centuries, Black mothers have lived in a state of deepened emotions. We feel joy each time we see our child smile, excitement watching them learn to tie their shoes, and proud when they graduate from their different levels of their academic journey. And we feel fear. Black mothers carry a fear that the part of them that goes out into the world every day could meet harm. In the United States alone, police brutality is among the leading cause of death for Black men and boys. And racism has been linked to poor mental health outcomes. For mothers of Black children, this fear is not imagined. It is a daily reality, not just for those of us with sons, but for mothers with daughters too. A mother's love knows no boundaries. It's in a category all by itself. It shapes cultures and molds young, impressionable individuals. A mother's love provides stability and emotional availability, which is the key to their children's well-being. This way of being is not categorized or segmented by race or ethnicity. It is the genetic makeup of all mothers. The truth is that all mothers want the best for their children and pray for them to be successful, confident, and happy in life. However, Black mothers carry a larger burden, which requires them to pray a more rigorous and intentional prayer for their children's survival. Mothers with children of color pray daily that their sons and daughters come home alive. They pray in particular that their children do not experience race and color-related trauma and the external fear associated with racism. Black mothers pray that their children will not be socially marginalized as they live with the fear of knowing that even though they have done everything right and necessary to raise good, law-abiding children, their offspring have become an endangered species. We as Black mothers say no more to this fear as we hold steadily to James 5:16, which states that the fervent prayer of the righteous are powerful. The mission of the secret prayer of a righteous Black woman, the power of a mother's prayer, is to spark a movement that transcends all fear and bring hope, enlightenment, and meaningful cultural transformation to all mothers from our complex and intersecting stories. The secret prayer of a righteous Black woman, the power of a mother's prayer, will be a powerful resource providing wisdom, comfort, and prayer for Black moms all over the world. Packed with real-life inspirational stories and powerful prayers from Black moms who were once living in fear, it will bring peace, lighten the weight of unwanted burdens, worries, and fear that Black moms have been carrying since their conception. Coming soon this summer. I had to come back on and bring that because I'm like, this in itself is Leslieann. I'm going to bring you back on. So Leslieann was she's like, I'm going to come back on and hang out with you guys. So, I had to bring that back on, guys, because I want you guys to understand, that the importance of this mission, the importance of it, right? This is not just, it's not just an ordinary book. This is a movement. This is a movement, and this is what I want you guys to understand, that this book was not just, let's write a book. Oh, you know what? We've seen what's happening in the world today. This topic is relevant. No. In this book, in the preface, I share where the vision of this book came from. That in itself is a testimony, right? And if you're a man or a woman of faith, you know that the enemy don't like when we're doing something that, is here to set people free and to break chains. And this book, I would say I have been going through some spiritual battles. Like I'm telling you, I am fighting at night. I'm fighting people and saying, that's my book. God gave it to me. God gave it to me, and it just goes to show that when this book is out, it is going to be life-changing. And I'm telling you guys, I'm decreeing and I declaring right now that this book will reach mainstream, that you are going to hear about this book on the media. You are going to see this book up big, bold, and center. There are going to be press releases being written about this book. This book we're going to be hearing testimony about this book. I'm claiming it right now, and I'm trusting God in this season that He will do it for us, and for this book. And as we were creating this book, God, He said to me, you need to put a call to action on this book. And I said, call to action. And, that is where the inspiration for the journal came in. And when I was sharing it with the ladies, Debra said, Reea, I'm feeling in my spirit that we should have a Pastor Marlene. I'm going to bring you on. Are you ready? I'm going to bring you on. Okay, so now we have, guys, listen. At the very beginning, I mixed up Pastor Marlene's email. She did not get the link. It's my fault, but I'm so happy that I'm instrumental. I'm like, let me call her while this video is going on. And she's like, I can't log on. And I'm like, it's just to click on the link. And she's like, what link? Anyhow, this is things happen. But at the end of the day, we give God the victory because I have you guys on here right now. Pastor Marlene is joining us. She is one of our authors from Baltimore. And I forgot to ask everybody to say where they were calling in, where they were from. But I know some of you mentioned. I know Irina is from Ohio, and Debra is from Chicago. Leslieann and myself, we're from Brooklyn, New York. Pastor Marlene is in Baltimore, right, Pastor Marlene? Right. Pastor Marlene, do you have audio? Okay, good. Right. So, just to go back with this book again, and then, Debra said, I felt led, like, I feel like we should have like a hotline or something set up within this book. And then Pastor Marlene, she piggybacked on that and she was like, I believe that we should put these hotlines, some hotlines in there so that people could, if they're going through certain things, they can reach out. So then based on the topics that we have in this book, we found a hotline that you can reach out to if you are in distress. So we have Black Mental Health Alliance hotline. We have the suicide, because Pastor Marlene is going to share about her story and her inspiration that is also based on suicide, which is something, we just lost her. Hopefully she come back on, which is something that she shared with us about. So guys, again, when I'm saying this topic or this book, it has diversity in fears and topics. So it's like your one-stop shop, fit all shop, right? And what I realized with every other mom's story is that my fear, I had each and every one of these fears for my children. And I know every mom as they read this book, they're gonna be able to connect and say, hey, Irina fear was once my fear, or probably it is. Debra fear was once my fear, or probably all are. So we are not going to be tackling one fear. You are going to be breaking down fear after fear after fear after fear after fear and truly ridding yourself. And just like unwanted fat or pounds or weight, that fear that you're carrying is unwanted and it is weighing you down mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And this book is going to help you to really just shed all those unwanted fear. I'm absolutely sure that when a mom reads this book, she's going to say that I actually have the same fear that Reea have. I have the fear that Debra have. I had the fear, and she will be able to find that healing. So Debra, I know you have to go in a little bit. So I want to give you the opportunity to please tell our viewers where they can follow you, right? And how they can purchase or pre-order this book on your platform.
Okay. You can find me on Facebook under Debra Turner-Ray. You can find my website. It's called the5talents.com. You can put it in your Google search and you can put in the5talents.com and my page will come up. And Monday, you will be able to pre-order the book as of Monday. But my webpage is the5talents.com. And that comes from the book of Matthew. And God gave it to me, and that's where I am. I am not going to bury the talents that he has given me. So I'm just, y'all don't know, I'm sitting here teasing, I'm sitting here teasing. But yeah, when he gave it to me and he said that would be the name of my company. So you can find me there. I go on Instagram, but not a lot. But you can definitely find me on Facebook, Debra Turner-Ray. And like I said, you can put in your Google search, the5talents.com, and I will pop up. So
guys, listen, sorry, you guys need to support Debra. Like I said to you, she's the grandma that everybody wants to have. She is that feisty, yet still very funny, yet still very nurturing and vulnerable. If nothing that I have gained with this program, I have gained a body of strong, powerful Black women that I can truly call my sisters and my friend. And I know that we are here to support each other. Debra, if you have to leave, you could just exit. Just let me know.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know Pamela is still trying to come on. She's determined. I love her drive. Thank you so much, Debra. In the meantime, Pamela, I'm going to try to bring you on. Let me see if you have some audio taking place. Okay, and she has audio. Pamela?
Yes, I'm here.
So I don't know what happened before, but it's dark where you are. We don't have good lighting.
I'm trying to get into the light.
Okay,
Okay.
and we have
I'm right
Marlene
here.
coming on as well. Listen, guys, this is live and anything happen. We've seen when COVID happened and people had to go live stream. There were people showing up to meeting in the underwear and they didn't even fix the camera. And
I know
we had children who were coming into the meeting, and we had some people who were doing some big people thing that was also being aired. So listen, if we have a few people who can't get the audio on or who's being bumped out, hey, that's life for you. This is real, it's uncut, it's so this is how it happened. It goes. So I just want to give, since Pamela was on earlier on and she didn't get a chance to speak, I'm going to let Pamela talk and then Marlene. And then guys, we're just going to talk a little bit and then we're going to try to wrap it up, okay? So I want to first thank Leslieann and Irina for running to my rescue. I'm like, guys, I need some people on to talk to.
Wow.
So thank you guys. So Pamela, I just want you to share a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to really say yes to this anthology and about your story a little bit. Take it away.
Yes. Okay. Good night, everyone. My name is Pamela Wilson, and I am the proud parent of 3 young adults and 2 grandchildren. What inspired me to really take a leap, I should say, and join these wonderful ladies is the fact that I think that my story needs to be heard. And it's one story that, a lot of people can identify with because the struggle is real, it's daily, it's in front of our faces, and we can't help but to, step into the role that we have, so become accustomed to. And I feel that parents, they may not see a way out, but in reading my book or our book, they will see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And don't leave. We're not leaving God out of this because God, He knows the people to put together. Anytime I step into an audience, I know these people need to be here. I know that these 12 ladies need to be, we needed to be joined in this wonderful, wonderful international author. I could say it enough times to get it out my. I'm like doing a dance and everything.
That's who you are now.
Thank you. Thank you. For sticking with us and, making us see what this can turn out to be. And it's big. It's really big. Thank you, Reea.
Well, thank you. I remember when we hit those numbers and we you guys inherited those titles, and myself, I became an international best-selling author. But what was so profound was that when God gave me this mission last year, He said you had to give birth to 3 anthologies in 2020, and He gave me a full blueprint, but He gave me a mandate. He said you had to make it. He said this is going to be a blessing in your life. But He wants it to be a blessing in each of the women lives that come into this program. And I remember I was saying to myself, how can I make this program unique from all the rest? How can I make this program a program where this woman could become a blessing? So besides for all the training and the stuff that came within the program, I also wanted so badly to make this woman best-selling author. So they came in with the promise knowing that they were going to be best-selling authors. But I knew that I had something off my sleeve. I wanted to over-deliver. I didn't want them to expect nothing more than what was promised, which was best-selling. But I know I was going for #1 bestseller. And I also know that I was going for international bestseller. So when we made that numbers, and I teased them that day and I said, hey, I need you guys to hop on a quick Zoom for me. I teased them a little bit in the comment and said I have news. And they were so eager. Let me tell you something. I think about 9 of them hopped into the Zoom and they were so eager. And I said, I showed them the screen. And for a moment, they couldn't understand what they were watching because, we were like sitting on #3 and I'm pretty sure they were saying, well, why is she showing us this when we were just #1 and all the stuff? Like, what is so, what is big about being #3? Like, we already hit #1 in like 10 different categories. Like, what is number 3? But what they wasn't watching was the market. It wasn't the US market anymore. It was the India market. And then after it was it was Germany, right? And they were like, I played with them a little bit, and then I was like, guys, look at the flag. And that was when they realized they were international. So for me, being the visionary behind this, and for me, really taking a leap of faith in myself, I always have faith in God, but sometimes we have to dig deeper in to really put ourselves out there, especially when God is calling to be a leader. And as I look and I see the body of people that God had me lead, I mean, I'm talking about besides for who you guys are professionally, because I have educators, I have, engineers, I have so many different, I have business owners, coaches, and then I have people like pastors and evangelists and prophetess and ministers, so it just made me feel also very humble to God for putting me in this place, but to know that I, through the help of God and me saying yes to God, was able to give these 11 ladies, they inherited the title of #1 best-selling author. Like, you guys hit it big. You guys did it better than me. I took me 4 years to get that title, and you guys got it on your first try. And international. That was just such a move from God. And we're just going to testify a little bit. I remember Leslieann reached out. She called me and she said, Reea, I'm working on my job and my shoulder is lifted a little bit higher than usual. I cannot believe I'm a best-selling author. That time they didn't get the international yet, right? So I'm going to let Pastor Marlene share. Pastor Marlene, I'd like to introduce you. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us, a little bit about yourself and why it is you thought that it was best for you to be a part of this anthology, and about your story.
Wonderful. Good evening, ladies. I greet you all in the wonderful name of Jesus Christ. It's good to be online finally.
Finally.
Finally. But we thank God in everything. We give God thanks because He knows everything and He's in control. So we give Him thanks. First, I want to thank God for Reea's obedience, because I remembered when she called and she was sharing the vision. Sometimes we receive a vision and we don't always act upon it. But first, I want to really thank God for your obedience, because of you being obedient to God, we are now international best-selling audience, because every step of the way that the Lord spoke to you and gave it to you, follow His direction. So I am excited to be a part of the move of what God is doing with us, because I know He connected us. He allowed you to choose these ladies for such a time like this, because every story that is in this anthology book is needed. When I decided to share this story about my son, I think it was needed because everybody is seeing now that mental illness and things that our children struggle with on a daily basis is real. Because for me, I did not know that my son was battling with suicidal thoughts until he said it to me. And it blew my mind. Now, as I said, I'm a pastor. I minister, I encourage, I pray for plenty of people and see God move in their lives. So hearing him say that to me, it was a shocker. Let me be real. It was a shocker because I wanted to know, how did I miss it? So I think sharing this story is the eye-opener to us to pay closer attention to our children. Look for the signs. Look for the vulnerableness that we may see. Don't close our eyes there because we don't want to miss it. Because peradventure, missing it could derail what God wants to do in their lives. So I'm happy to share my story because I believe it will help. One, because we know out there, quote unquote, as pastors, many people don't want the world to know that we are humans. And as human beings, we suffer. We go through trials. We are real. We are people. People put us on a pedestal, but we are human beings and we go through life struggles like everybody. But the beauty about this is knowing that we have a God on our side. And because we trust him and trust in his promises that we could hold on to, because we serve a God that cannot lie and would not lie, that we know that long as we put our trust in him, we are more than able to overcome and walk in victory.
Amen.
So I am happy to share and know that, listen, what he went through is for a testimony to let others know. Listen, you don't have to be ashamed to tell your story. There's no shame in this. Let the world know, listen, I was, but that is not who I am. By the grace of God, I am an overcomer through Christ Jesus. And I want the world to know I'm no longer a victim, but I'm a victor because I have overcome. So I want to give God thanks.
Listen, guys, she just preached. We just went to church, guys. We literally just went to church, and that is just how God is. So, you know, as she said, she is a pastor, and yet she had her son coming to share that, Mommy, I have suicidal thoughts. And, you know, when you get this book, you will really read the story and understand why that happened. But, you know, God is so good. And I just love the fact that, you know, we have people like Pastor Marlene who is willing to share the story, because oftentimes, you know, people think that, oh, she's a pastor, or, you know, they have this big title, but we are human first.
Yes.
Right? And then there's always this secret hidden stigma that because you're sick, it means that you're living in sin, or because something's wrong with your children, you didn't cover them. And there's this misconception that people that they have, that sometimes makes you now don't want to come out. And I just think for Pastor Marlene coming out and sharing the secret fear, right, that she had, and sharing about her story, it's almost like coming out of the closet. Perhaps this might be a move that we might see more leaders in ministry sharing about their struggle, so that the congregation could start to get healing from a different place as well, right? Yeah. This book might be the tool that's going to start to bring the conversation in the church. Yes. You know, some of the conversation that is not happening. Right? It might be that book. It might be that tool that is going to be instrumental now for us to have some of these conversations taking place, because, you know, God wants us to be sound in mind. And while, yes, God is important, yes, the word is important, yes, the praying is important, yes, the worshiping is important, sometimes we need to have the conversation that we're having in here. We need to have it. We need to cut it down. We have to be raw. We need to go deep. Sometimes this need to be the message on the pulpit. You know, this need to be the message sometimes, so we could really connect with our congregation or the people that we have in our circle, or the people that we are impacting directly. You know, I know with my circle of people that are on my Facebook, my social media, the parents I deal with, my friends, my family, through me, they are going to be able to get some healing and breakthrough. And it's going to start the conversation. Likewise for each and every one of you. And I even see that people buying this book, and, you know, after they're reading it, they're going to say, you know what? I know someone who could benefit. This book is going to make a really good gift. Guys, Christmas is coming up. You have that Black mom, you know, give her a book to read. You know, forget about the scarf this summer, right? Forget about the gift card. Give her a book to read. Let her renew her mind. Let her renew her faith. Let her build a closer relationship with God. Let her learn how to parent from that spiritual place of really letting go. Sometimes as parents, you know, we feel we have to do everything. Right? We have to cook, we have to clean, we have to wash, we have to delegate, we have to do everything. But sometimes you have to let go. You ever see those parents that don't let go? Your child is 25 years and you're still making them dinner. You're still washing their clothes. You're still doing everything for them because you don't know how to let go. So we have to learn how to let go and let God, even in the spiritual part here. So as we know that, yes, there's so many things out there. Our role as parents is to educate our children, is to build them up with a level of confidence that is healthy, is to help them to be able to know how to regulate their emotions and their actions, so that when they go out there and they find themselves in certain situations, rather than escalate it, they will know how to diffuse it, perhaps just walk away. That is our role role, and it is God's role to protect them. He protects their life. When we educate them and empower them and give them the tool where they'll be able to be good thinkers, good critical thinkers, good problem solver, and they could be able to function in that role, then we just have to trust God. God is the one who's going to decide if they come back home tonight or not. Yes, we know that they have a role, but our role is to just give them the right tools, and then our role is to trust God that He will help us in the way where we cannot help them. Because when they go there, they are uncovered. We are not there with them over them, now covering them, but they need the covering from God, you know. So coming back to that, Pastor Marlene, I will go to Pamela. Tell us how your prayer has impacted you, and what do you wish that your prayer in this book could really do for the readers as they read it, because we know that prayer is essential, right? And we have been talking all night about the importance of prayer. So share a little bit about your prayer and how it has impacted you in this situation, and your hope for the prayer for the parents.
Well, my prayer began with a prayer of purpose. And I know what my purpose for my prayer was. And then I made it into, like a mantra, that I'm saying daily, to God. I'm speaking to God about my child and my situation, and I know that, everything that I put to God or say about my child, He hears. And my hope is that parents would read my story or my prayer and adopt a prayer lifestyle for themselves, knowing that God is he's a changer of lives. He changes things. He comes in and He not only, help you to go through it, He also be a mind changer in the whole scope of, raising children. And I just continue to pray for my son, and I hold him up, and every day I, or ask God to order his steps, in the way that he should go. I know he's old now, but at the same time, I continue to cover him daily. Thank you, Reea.
Yes, listen, it doesn't matter how old our kids get, they're going to always be our kids. My children are 20, my boys are 20 each, and my daughter is going to be 25 in less than 2 months. And I still refer to them as my kids, my children. I still see them as such. And it doesn't matter how big they get, how grown they get, how advanced they get in life. As parents, they're going to always be our children, and we're going to always want to protect them and cover them, And as they grow and they get more independent, then the way in which we do that always changes, right? So when they're young, we could stronghold them. No, you can't go here, you can't go there. But as they get older, they have to go. So then what do? Are you going to sit and worry? Are you going to mope? Are you going to be the parent that's going to stay up all night and wait until you see they come home and you're fidgeting and you can't take a deep breath until they get there? Are you going to now understand that you have to give it over to God? And this is what this book is about. It's about really letting you know that, you have to surrender it to God. He don't want you walking around in fear. He do not want you carrying this mindset, because that mindset is debilitating. That mindset is preventing you from living the life that God wants you to live. That way of living in fear, it is preventing you from walking in your God-given purpose, right? So you need to rid yourself from that unwanted fear so you can really, really rise up and soar and be the person, the mother that God called you to be the Black woman that God called you to be. So Pastor Marlene, please share with us, what is your prayer and how has your prayer impacted your life, and what you wish this prayer would do for the viewers.
Well, Coach Reea, I truly believe in the power of prayer. I believe prayer is a lifestyle. I believe the word of God said, listen, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much with God. And the word declares that God promised to keep that which we have committed unto him until that day. And I don't want to give it to God and keep taking it back. So I learned how to now water my children in prayer, daily water them in prayer, and trust in the God that made me a promise that he will watch over them jealously. So I had to learn to commit them to God, leave them there, and know that God will honor his word faithfully. And then the word tells me that, listen, when I call upon God, he will answer me. So I got to trust that when I call on him for my children, that he will hear and answer, because I know he's a promise-keeping God and he watches over his word to perform it. So if he say it to us mothers, we got to know that God is going to bring it to pass. For faithful is he who promised. Have he not said it, and would he not bring it to pass? Yes, he will bring it to pass. And that's the confidence that I walk in, that if God give me a promise concerning my 3 children, that he's going to bring it to pass. It may look like if it's an obstacle, but every obstacle that comes our way is a miracle that God is going to turn it around and give us victory. So don't look at this as an obstacle. Look at this as a stepping stone into our destiny.
Amen.
Because the children that God gave unto us, they are not born for trouble, but they are born to walk in divine success. They're born to walk in excellence. They're born to know that who God called them to be, they ought to be the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. And we have to speak into their lives, even when we see them walking contrary to what we know God called them to be. We still have to speak it into their being, because what we continue to speak will continue to manifest as we continue to declare. And my prayer is that every mother, black mother, every mother that may be going through with your children, learn how to trust God and call upon God, and know that when you call, he will answer.
Powerful. You know, and you just said something there, right? We got to speak it into being. You know, we know that life and death is in the tongue. As a man thinketh, such is he. If you think about it, you're walking around in fear, 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 and you're projecting the fear on your kids. You are basically speaking every day that which you are, that you fear onto your children. So if you're afraid that your child is going to be a teenager, is going to get pregnant and at a teenage, while she's a teenager, which is also one of the story, but we don't have the mom on here tonight, then you are going to be over that child every minute, worrying about that, and also perhaps even talking to her about it, warning her about it, and you are actually speaking that into her life. If you're afraid of the gangs, if you're afraid of your child being shot by a cop and he's going out to the car every day and you're like giving him the whole 411 each time, you are projecting that fear. And what God has shown me is that our children have become casualty of our fears. Again, our children have become casualty of our fears, because we are walking around so fearful of all the what if. And let's be real, let's be completely honest. While we shared about one fear because we couldn't share about all, there are plenty other fear. So we may have all worked on this one fear, but I want to tell you, even with us right now, let's keep it real. We got to keep working on ourselves, which is why the holistic part of it is important too. Speaking positively to ourselves, affirming ourselves, reminding ourselves of who we are and whose we are, talking that word over our life and over the life of our children. So, you know, it's so important that we, as Pastor Marlene said, we got to keep our conversation powerful, positive, you know, because what that fear that we are walking around covering ourselves with, we are also projecting it on our children. Some of the things that we may be fearful of, right, they're not even thinking about. So now we're bringing it to them. Your child not even thinking about drinking, but now you're talking about alcohol every minute. Now they're curious. Well, what is this alcohol that she's talking about? Your child is not thinking about sex yet, but you already talking to her about getting pregnant, you know, because you've been pregnant. Your child is not in the gang, right? Your child may not be doing anything wrong. Your child is not even concerned about the cops, but the way we talk about the interaction, now they're fearful. So when they see the cop, they want to run. They're being killed because they're being shot from the back. Because they're running, because we project that fear on them. You understand? So they're becoming casualty because we are not educating them. We are not empowering them. We're not equipping them with the right tools. Right. And I'm saying we because at some point, even though we may be delivered and set free right now, because we're claiming that, right? There's so many other, we were once there. And in some aspect in our life, perhaps we're still struggling in some different point. And there's so many months out there. So we're gonna get ready to wrap up in a little bit. But I want Pamela, can you please just tell us where we can follow you and where I'm not sure if your platform is ready yet because I know that we're getting ready for pre-order season. Let me know where you let the viewers know where they can follow you and if they can pre-order your book, where they can pre-order it.
Okay, you could follow me on Facebook with Pamela Wilson. And no, my platform is not ready yet, but as soon as it is, I will be posting it on Facebook.
Okay,
Thank you.
guys, so follow her, follow her, follow her. I know that Pamela has her friends on Facebook. So if any one of you guys are looking and tuning in, just make sure you're keeping up to date because when she has a platform ready, she's going to be putting it out there. But you guys could DM her and give her your orders from now. We don't always need to go directly to a landing page or a website. If you are interested in this book, call her, DM her, email her. All the kids from the school, all the parents from the school, you guys email her. She's a parent coordinator in Brooklyn, which means that you communicate with a tremendous amount of Black parents, right? So you guys could DM her and you guys could give her your pre-order. She could take it and put it in a notebook. Listen, guys, I'm a businesswoman. I know how to move around everything, okay? So you could email her. Pamela, can you give your email? Just voice it out there so people could email you.
It's pumpkin, PUMKIN 63 at gmail.com. Again,
Pumpkin
pumpkin
63.
63 at gmail.
Very simple, guys. Pastor Marlene, I would like you to take this opportunity to please share with the viewers where they can follow you and also if your book is ready for pre-order, where they can pre-order.
Well, based on our discussion, Coach Reea, I will hold off for that until the correction is made for now. And as soon as it's up and ready, then I will let you know. But for now, you could follow me on Facebook at Marlene Asseviero. And you could email me at gifted1foryou@hotmail.com. GIFTED number 1 number 4 lowercase u at hotmail.com or Marlene96703 @gmail.com. And you could also find me on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay, guys. So you go ahead.
At Celeste for you on Instagram.
Okay, so guys, you guys could first follow her on Facebook. That's always the easiest place to make contact. All of the authors, they are on my page all over my wall. So you can follow her there, you could DM her, you could email her, and you could start to give that verbal pre-order. Her website is in making. I did look at it yesterday and made some suggestions. So thank you for taking those suggestions. I want to make sure my authors are going out ready and strong. But guys, Leslieann and Irina, do you guys, just because you came back on, I just want to give you guys the opportunity if there was something you wanted to say, perhaps about the anthology, you didn't get to say it, and then we are going to close off. I don't have any question right now, so we are going to close off.
I have something that I wanted to share if we have a few minutes still.
Yes, you can go.
So just today, we've had some, actually I was just at work at a part-time job earlier today and I saw there was a conflict that broke out between the children. And because this book is so important, guys, there's a mandate on our lives. And by getting this book, it's going to give you moms a tool, a lot of different tools to be able to use with your children, to use, to not just break through, their struggles and things. But recently, I myself have had some breakthroughs even in the midst of this writing. And so, we just as Black mothers, we have to keep working and we have to keep breaking those cycles because they are going to affect the next generation. And I was praying for my son, and and as I was praying about this, there's a gap, that God is filling in the midst of right now. And so he stopped me in the middle of my prayer, and he said to me, "That's what I created you for." And he said to me, "That's what you're here for, to solve that problem." And I said, wow. Like, there was nothing to put after that. It was like, okay, so now get to action, get to moving. That's what we have to do as mothers. We have to take some action. And so I want to encourage you to get this book, because it is going to move you from that place of just praying and walking and watching. It's going to move you into action. Okay. I'm watching just today alone. Going back to work, I watched several different children, and I saw their hearts. They were hurting and they were in pain. Our children need us. You guys, they need us. It is imperative that we do what we can to help our children. And so that it starts with us. We have to heal ourselves. We have to move past those fears, because if we don't move past those fears, our children are going to have to carry that. That's not what God wants for us as Christian mothers. He wants us to move past our fears. He wants us to break the cycles, and he wants us to be that light that we've been called to be in this hour. So you guys, God is depending on us. So buy your copy today. So thank you, Reea, for allowing me to share. It's been a blessing. This group of ladies is just phenomenal. All of their stories will touch your heart. They will give all of you tips and strategies and things. Everyone has shared at least one single tip in their chapter. So you guys, it's 12 of us. So you'll get at least 12 tips, if not more. So you guys, you want to buy this book. And that's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Irina. That was so powerful. Guys, our message was powerful and it is real. Okay? So again, it's just, like we know, like, yes, this is a book. Yes, you have to purchase it, Yes, it's still part of a business. But this is not just you buy a candy or you buy a sneakers and it's just like, it is what it is. Like, this is an investment that you are making over your life. This is an investment that you are making over the life of your children. Because once you renew your mind, and once you're able to really walk in faith and in the grace of God, then you are really going to be able to be set free. And this book offers you freedom. This book is going to break the chains of your mind. This book is going to help you to really connect and reconnect with God. This book is going to increase your faith. It's going to renew your faith. And with that, I'm going to ask Leslieann if she would like to share, if you would like to say something.
I would like us to look at Job 3:25. And I want to look at that because it is stated in King James Version, "The very thing I greatly feared has come upon me, and what I dreaded has happened to me." So I pray that we get control of this mind. The mind is the battlefield for the enemy to run crazy with. And let us not be like Job. That thing that we fear, see it manifest. So if we're going to think on things, let's think on something positive and productive. Let us not hold to those fearful feelings and thoughts, but release them.
Amen.
Release the fear.
Yes. Again, right? If we walking around carrying it in our head, or if we walking around carrying it in our heart, then we are basically confessing it. We are living it. We are saying, "Here I am, take me." We are bringing it into our space. So again, it's all about being able to eliminate that negative thinking, to move past that fear, to really let go and let God, to renew our faith, and to cover ourselves and cover our children. So I just want to thank everyone who have tuned in. Again, if you're now watching this from the replay, my name is Reea Rodney. I am an international best-selling author. I am the visionary author behind this amazing, amazing, amazing global movement and this book, The Secret Prayer of a Righteous Black Woman. I have an anthology series called The Never Let a Good Crisis Go to Waste. And when you think about that, how can you put good and crisis in one sentence? It's all with the mind. It is all with the mind. It's one of my favorite quotes from Winston Churchill. And as you listen to that quote or as you recite that, it tells you what to do. So these books that are going to be birthed through these anthologies, they are going to be life changers. They are going to be problem solver. They are going to be books that are going to help you to break free and set free. They are going to be books that are going to help you to transform yourself in a positive way. It's going to help you to build your confidence in you. They are all faith-based and faith-driven. So definitely you are going to get connection back with God, reconnected, increase your faith, whatever it is. So if you would like to learn more, you guys, I'm on Facebook. Just follow me. You could check me out on www.darapublishing.co. You could follow me on Facebook. Most importantly, you could DM me and you could find out more about this anthology. I would love to have you be a part of this program. I would love to have your story written in one of these books. As these ladies said, this program has been inspirational. To all of my dynamic moms who pray, slay, and find a way, I am going all the way from, I'm going to start from as it is in my head. Phoenix, Michelle, Rhonda, Debra, Leslieann, Pamela, Irina, Pastor Marlene. I don't want to leave out anybody. Debra Ray, Debra Carrington. We also have Tanisa, Chandele. I mean, I think I call everyone there. 12 of us. I just want to thank you guys for embarking on this journey with me. You know, you have to go through a few mindset shifts to say yes to this. I know there are people who said no to it because it was about Black moms. You know, they don't want to be associated with something that is so, laser focus. There are people who said no to this because they perhaps felt like it served a minority. And that is far from incorrect because we are far from minority, right? I know there are people who said no for this because there's an investment, and oftentimes people don't like to invest. They don't like to invest in themselves. They don't like to invest in things that can really propel them. You know, people said no to this because they feel they didn't have the time, right? And they feel like they had a better plan for their time. However, you guys said yes to this because you saw God's vision, because you recognize that this book is needed, because you understand that this is not just a move of a man, which is myself, but a move of God. And you made yourself available. Some of you really stepped out of your comfort zone. You had to go dig deep within your finance. But some of you just took this on by faith, not knowing how you were really going to get through and do what you needed to do, but you know that you were going to be a part of this. And Debra Ray is not on, but she kept saying this, right? She said that she sat back and thought she didn't want to be those people who said no. And then later on, when it blew up big, she was like, I could have been there, you know? So she recognized that this was great and she wanted to be a part of it. So she called out her army. She called her son. She called everybody and said, I need you guys to invest in me, you know, because she saw it. So I want to thank you guys for really seeing the vision and for being a part of this movement, because I believe that you guys were here by God's divine intervention. And I believe that everything we've learned in this space, we were able to really grow within this space. We were able to even step out in faith within this space. So as we're getting ready to wrap up, I know that Pastor Marlene wanted to say something. Pastor Marlene, are you there? I think she's on a call, but she wanted to say something quick before we leave. So I'm just going to stall a little bit for her to come back on. But guys, again, For all the viewers out there, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Please share, please like. If you didn't have a chance to say something, please, I'm going to come on Facebook into the comment and I'm going to answer all the questions that are there. Pastor Marlene, you want to say something, please?
Yes,
The floor is yours.
yes, woman of God. As we were talking about the book, this came into my spirit and I just wanted to say it. You know, the scripture say a wise man leave an inheritance for his children and his children's children.
Fix your camera so we can see your face. We only see like from your nose down.
See me now?
Yes.
I was saying, you know, the scripture say a wise man leave an inheritance for his children and his children's children. Well, I consider that this book is an inheritance for generations to come. So I just needed to say that as it dropped into my spirit, that this book is for generations to come. So we will pass it on to generations after generations after generations after generation. And this is just the beginning.
You know, I love how God operates, right? Because I am telling you, I got into my spirit that this book is going to have a part 2. Like we still have some more fears that mothers have to conquer. And this book is going to be a part 2. And we might just be seeing, perhaps next year, The Secret Prayer of a Righteous Black Woman, part 2 or volume 2. You know, because, listen, we are going to be tackling these fears. So ladies, again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. For you and the viewers, I want to thank you guys for joining us. I just want to say, you know, that this book is going to be out soon. It's going to be dynamic. Continue to follow us, continue to support us, continue to spread the word, because this book, it is going to be like that soul food. It's going to really touch deep down into your soul, and it's going to really fill you, and it's going to fill you in a positive way. So Leslieann, Pamela, Irina, thank you guys so much. For all my authors who were on before, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.